Any of the views expressed in this show do not represent the views or opinions of those participating. We are merely observers.
Please do not reenact any of the stories you hear on our show.
Being featured on our show is not something to be proud of.
And as always, please drink responsibly.
This is like ASMR stuff right now. Everybody's getting all too excitable over here.
Is it smacking or what else? Could it be something else?
Oh,
I'm a very twitchy person. That's probably what it is. I'm sitting there just like...
Oh gosh, can we please stop? I can't do this. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Laughs and Drafts. My name is Jason Thomas, your resident fancy boy.
I'm Jared, your learning man.
This is Tim, the old man.
I'm Ethan, the blind guy.
Oh God! Right off the bat, and I already think
Let it roll.
We should
Let it ride.
Let it ride. That is correct. We're gonna go ahead and get into our first story before either one of these guys makes me want to hang myself.
Everything makes you want to hang yourself.
Just the sweet release of death at any time now, please. This one is from mirror.co.uk. The headline reads, Tamara Samsonova, Granny Ripper. Serial killer may be cannibal who ate her victims. Which I don't know why it has to have ate in like all caps. So technically it would be Granny Ripper, serial killer
Maybe cannibal
who ate their victims, police say.
She ate them, but you know what? We have a reason to doubt she's not a cannibal.
A suspected mass murdering pensioner dubbed the Granny Ripper may be a cannibal. This doesn't make any sense. May be a cannibal who ate the remains of her victims, police have said. Tamara Samsonova, 68, admitted killing 11 people in a diary where she kept a grisly record of her crimes.
How old was she?
68.
Jeez, man.
The deadly OAP.
Starting late in life.
Yeah, it is. It is thought to have beheaded and dismembered her victims during a 20-year spree in St. Petersburg, Russia. Oh, so it's like the Babushka killer. That would have been better. The Babushka River. The suspected serial killer was held in Russia's second city after CCTV footage emerged, allegedly showing her carrying the body parts of an elderly woman in a black plastic bag. A former hotel worker got her eyes in the screen.
Dude, I was just thinking that.
Holy crap. This is like the first person I think I've ever looked into their eyes and you can feel like evil. That is crazy. It's hard to read when it was having her look at me. A former hotel worker, she entered details of a macabre secret life in diaries which she kept in Russian, English, and German alongside black magic and astrological books. Gosh, look at her face.
God dang, dude. She is rough to look at.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty evil.
That's the last thing you
She's
see
very evil
chomping
looking.
on you.
That's what I would expect, actually.
In Russia?
No, if someone's chomping down on my limbs, then I would
I don't
expect
know.
that.
If someone's
face.
right there.
If somebody is eating my flesh, I at least hope you're a
But it's reported as she's allegedly
may have says she was caught carrying. Anyways, Russian tabloids have labeled her Baba Yaga, a horrifying supernatural old woman from Slavic folklore.
Yeah, that's legit, I think.
Samsonova allegedly had a penchant for gauging out and eating lungs, or gouging out. Samsonova allegedly had a penchant for gouging out and eating lungs. It is claimed. Asked if she was a cannibal, a police source said, "It is not excluded." Report the Mail Online, which doesn't. That whole sentence doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It has also been suggested the self-confessed killer gave her final victim, Valentina Ulanova, 79, an overdose of sleeping pills before dismembering her body with a hacksaw while she was still alive. Yes, I mean, if you're overdosed with sleeping pills, though, it doesn't really make sense.
Well, that's how I want to go.
Yeah, you overdosed and saw me in half.
Alive.
She was detained after the headless body of Ulanova, from whom she was a carer, was found near a pond in Dimitrova Street in St. Petersburg.
Just another day in Russia.
I don't know who made all these claims.
I know, there's just
It's just like very specific.
Like everything that was said,
accounts and
grandma killed 11 people allegedly and ate their bodies allegedly. She fed her overdose of sleeping pills allegedly.
Like
and
to
cut her
gouge
apart,
the lungs out and eat the lungs, maybe.
It was reported.
It's like the article was finished, and then that lady came in and just put in allegedly and maybe, just didn't completely delete it.
Oh, I like this one. This
choice
actually
words.
makes it really believable because it's a grandma. Samsonova killed her after a quarrel over unwashed cups.
All right.
That
Makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Anyways, when Samsonova was questioned by the police last week, she admitted to committing the crimes, but without going into any detail, says reports. And in her flat, police found a saw, a knife, and blood spots in the bathroom. Surprisingly, just in the bathroom.
She might be the killer, though.
Yeah,
I
may
maybe
or may
ain't
not.
that she may
Who
be the
knows?
killer.
Yeah. Everybody in Russia, it's just like,
Maybe.
we found the killer. Maybe. I don't know. It could be. Put on the hard bass. Cheeky breaky. All right, whatever. Jimmy.
Texas police seize 600 pounds. Are you ready, Jason? Of meth-laced lollipops.
From Mexico.
Just for you, sweet baby boy.
Take me away.
Police investigating a reported burglary have seized almost $1 million worth of methamphetamine-laced lollipops. 600 pounds of the homemade candy, drug mixture, melted into various shapes, including Batman and Star Wars figures, were discovered in a Houston home.
Star Wars. You like Star
It
Wars?
must be
Oh,
okay
man.
then if it has Star Wars
If
on it.
feces is involved, Dad, this will include you as well.
Does it have loot crates
Well, thank you
involved?
for that.
Do you have to pay
You have to pay.
to eat the next part of the lollipop?
You
Please
pay,
re-
you pay
please read
per
on.
lick.
Please read on, please.
Police said the drugs had a street value of almost $1 million. A concerned neighbor called police Monday to report that a house was being burglarized. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered a male and female removing the lollipops from the home. The Harris County Sheriff's Office said they had so many narcotics in their vehicle they couldn't close the back hatch of their car, Lieutenant Ruben Diaz said during a press conference on Tuesday. Police believe the female suspect had at one time stayed in the home. The seizure is the first of its kind for the area. Harris County Sheriff's Office spokesman Sergeant Cedric Collier said the house was the place they manufactured the drug.
For the area, I mean, is lollipop meth? Like meth lollipops? Is that like a common thing?
Maybe just the
Lollipop,
meth. Maybe not
lollipop,
specifically
Boy, that could be anything.
That could be interpreted
be
as so many
anything.
different things.
You just got excited because you saw me put my finger in my mouth.
It was evident it was evident they were making these in the kitchen.
Allegedly.
Diaz said the design of the lollipops had raised concerns that the drug is being marketed to children. It hits home and affects the entire community when someone is targeting children like this.
Maybe. Reports have said.
That's going to be the phrase tonight. After every single sentence. Maybe. Allegedly.
Maybe.
So, yeah, that
Maybe,
that
baby.
one was just for you. Like I said, I'm trying to lay off Florida, so that was for, of course, Texas.
That was in Texas? Well,
Yes.
Texas is... It's my second favorite news story state, but Texas is a wonderful place. Everybody there is just crazy. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy magical things happen. I would say more magical than crazy. Mm-hmm. It's magical in the sense like OJ was magical in the sense that he cut someone's head off and killed 2 people and got away with it and then went to jail on tax fraud.
That's
Do
magic.
you believe in miracles? Yes. Magic.
Turns out that's a little bit of a harsher crime than killing 2 people in cold blood.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is too.
He was funny on the Naked Gun, though.
Dad, what you got?
I loved him on Naked Gun.
All right.
Started seeing
Yeah,
it.
we're done talking about OJ.
Okay, let's go to South Korea. Inside South Korea's bizarre penis
There it
themed
is.
park, built to keep the spirit of a dead virgin happy.
Oh, wow.
The sculpted sex
What?
organs at Hazandang Park in all shapes and sizes, from a tiny Dodger dream catcher to a 6-foot penis cannon that rises and
Dream
falls.
catcher?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Is that a size?
That's a small one.
Oh, okay.
That's a dream catcher.
You're dreaming
See,
to have a bigger one.
The dream catcher is when you
Video's
stand over
awesome.
someone sleeping without any pants on and you let it hang above their head
That's
to catch the bad dreams.
So what I'm looking at is the
As
biggest,
a favor.
the biggest black wiener I've ever seen, and it is,
Calm down when you look at it.
God. Dude.
and that's like a tiki head with the penis not going in but out of his mouth, like he has a weird growth coming from his throat. It's like his uvula is erect.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
I've never been here.
You need to check it out.
Well,
South
you
Korea.
lived there you should go check that
I
out
lived
now.
in South Korea for quite some time.
Are you
I've never been
familiar
there.
with the coastal village of Sanam?
No.
Saddam.
No.
Sinnam.
Oh.
You can
Very
see
different.
You can see almost 300 erect phallic statues, all dedicated to the memory of a virgin to be who was left on a rock by her fisherman fiance when he went off to work.
Every 10-year-old's dreams, so said my grandfather.
Thanks for bringing that up again.
You're welcome.
I'm scarred for life. Can't get it out of my head. Let's see. When a storm came in, this is kind of the story behind this. When a storm came in, she is said to have drowned, and ever since, her spirit can only be pleased with the sight of a male genitalia.
So wait, she was waiting on the rocks and a storm came in and she just sat there and died?
I guess so. Just wait.
she
The
was
flood
waiting
waters.
for
No
her
penis
fiance.
part for
waiting
you.
for
You're an idiot.
She was waiting for penis, apparently.
I think this is like a story that's just made up because some guy's like, I wanted to make a penis park. Let's make up a story of a virgin.
I think these pictures are pretty real. These pictures. Take a look.
Debauchery bot.
yeah, the hedonism bot.
No, hedonism bot. That's what it was.
The pictures
What's
are
oil?
magnificent.
Bring my
They're
grapes.
everywhere.
me
They're
show the
laying
pictures.
everywhere.
Oh, that's fun.
Once you've seen one, you'll want to see them all.
It's just essentially this. It's the same thing.
All
over
colors,
and over
shapes,
again.
sizes.
Differently.
I know, it's really bizarre. South Korea.
Boy, don't we all love penis stories?
Funny enough, like South Korean, like the people are just like very to themselves and like quiet.
That's why this story is kind of bizarre. Do they? I mean, is this real?
I'm sure it is. They make stuff up for no reason.
It's very strange. Very strange.
Filling our dreams too. Maybe we'll take a road trip. One of these days, it's like a school trip. We can just go to the penis garden, the penis museum,
Phallic around. Froggling.
and
Phallic around.
and every single exhibit's just gonna be walking in and just be like, that's a penis.
Look at that one.
That looks familiar. I feel like I've seen one before.
Oh, look, it's behind me.
It's behind me. That man's penis is a lion. It's screaming in his face.
So
I
the
had a
weeping
dog.
angels is the weeping penises. If you blink, they just move.
Please, the horror that would come from this. I don't need this kind of stress in my life.
Teardrops coming out of the one-eyed.
Yeah. Get you some.
Just, anyways, please just read the next story, Ethan.
Florida man
Yay!
arrested for DUI after mistaking bank drive-through for Taco Bell. Boy, if I had a nickel. Spring Hill, Florida, a Tampa man was arrested on Wednesday afternoon for DUI after he reportedly mistook a bank drive-through for Taco Bell. According to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, the manager of Bank of America on Marina Boulevard called to report an impaired driver after he found an unconscious man behind the wheel of a blue sedan in the bank's drive-through lane. The manager told deputies that after beating on the car window for some time, he was able to wake up the driver. Upon waking up, the driver asked the bank manager for a burrito before driving away after being informed he was not at Taco Bell. When deputies arrived, they found the blue sedan in the parking lot. The driver, Douglas Francisco, 28, was 28 was still in the driver's seat with the car running. The manager of the bank confirmed that Francisco was the same driver who he had called about.
Allegedly.
According to the arrest report, Francisco made several unusual statements. Deputies also noted that he had delayed reactions to their questions as well as slowed movements consistent with someone under the influence of prescription narcotics. After Francisco failed a series of field sobriety exercises, he was placed under arrest. The arrest report states that he had oxycodone and Xanax on him, both of which he was prescribed. He was transported to the Hernando County Jail on a $1,000 bond.
Neither one of those do anything for me.
I think they should. People who run Taco
Is
Bell. they
oxycodone
should-
a painkiller? No, those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. People who Taco Bell should buy a bank because you can put like burritos, tacos, in like the
Oh, and
plastic.
Yeah, but those come in at
tubes.
such a high
It's like,
speed.
"Ooh."
It just like explode in the
Throw
thing.
cheese like bam.
And it's just like you just have to eat it with the spoon out of the,
The plastic
like
container.
as soon as the screen lifts, you just reach in with a spoon and cry as you eat it out. I've always wanted to go to the bank and then say like, yeah, I'm just gonna deposit some cash and whatnot, and they send me like the slip, and I just load it with quarters and I send it. So I want to see it just land and explode on the other side and drive away. It was the best $400 I ever spent. That's a lot in quarters.
That's a lot of
Be
quarters.
a lot of pennies too. It'd be more pennies than quarters.
But you can't fit that many pennies.
Have you tried?
That'd be suspicious. I don't have to try. My brain is smart enough to know that you can.
We need to try.
We need to try. Your wife works at a bank, right?
Yeah.
We've got the inside
we
scoop.
can. We can totally
At least
do it.
see if we can send a burrito through the thing.
I will go
That'd
to
be pretty
Taco
cool.
Bell. I'm like, yes,
Yes.
I need to make a deposit. Just like, we're confused.
Have a good day. This man just came and dropped a burrito off. Laughed and he drove away.
How many people would just lose their minds if you
Go to
came
one
by one
Taco
day?
Bell, like get your meal, and then go to another one, go through the drive-through, order it, and then like instead when you go to pay, just like hand them the meal you just bought. Yeah, like thank you, have a good day. You know, you drive off.
I can see like
Like give them what you just ordered. Be like, here's your meal for you. You know, and just,
thanks for choosing Taco Bell.
you close the door for them. I'll get that for you.
I just thought you could deliver lunch to Bethany one day while she's working. You just go through and, hey, here you go, honey. Here's your burrito supreme.
Here's a bologna sandwich with the bologna wrapped around the bread. So the tube's just like greasy, you know?
Oh,
We sent Ethan to the home after that. We realized he was past his prime.
Went to the farm.
I went to the farm. Farm upstate, which really the farm upstate's just code word for a 10-cent bullet. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our first beer of the evening. This beer is from Zwanzigz,
Yeah.
correct? And this is from a place in Columbus, Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's called the Ghost Pepper Imperial Stout. American Imperial Stout on peppers. Our Fulcrum Imperial Stout infused with ghost peppers. Not too hot, but plenty of flavor, whereas you may want a second. We'll find out if Jared wants a second one of these. 8.3% alcohol.
Whereas you might want a second.
It is a year-rounder. In other words, it's not one of them fancy seasonals that you see in the big city.
A dock.
All right, Jared, you have at it.
oh, me?
We actually had this one. We tried it before you showed up.
Look at that.
It is
It's definitely
it is black.
It is
giving me
pitch black, and the head on it is like a dark chocolate brown. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
It
pretty
is
interesting.
it's odd.
It'll stay with
It's
you.
actually probably.
Oh, gosh.
Is it good?
Just wait till you.
Oh, man, that's good.
Wait.
Do you get
wait,
warm.
do you get the
wait.
spiciness in
It's
your
gonna
throat?
get
Yeah.
warmer.
I feel it coming. Honestly, woo, that's really good.
Yes,
And
it
the
is.
heat.
It is incredible. I actually really liked it. It's super creamy, and it's like that ghost pepper. It literally it'll burn the back of your throat.
Yeah, it literally
It'll
is
sit there,
spicy.
That heat, and it'll sit there for good 15, 20 minutes.
One of my friends that was talking to the brewery.
Friends. I'm sorry.
Talking to a couple of days ago for us. He made his own ghost pepper. It wasn't as a ghost pepper stout. Shut up.
And he's dead now.
And he's dead now. No, but he didn't. It didn't turn into a stout. It didn't age for that long. I think he had
Just
it
drinking
for,
ghost peppers with Bud Light in it.
I think he.
I'm a beer maker.
I think he had it for like 7 or 8 months.
Wow.
But yeah, that is
I mean, it's
Really
strong. It's
good.
an imperial stout.
Yeah.
Too correct. So I
Right.
mean, it's
a long time, very flavorful.
yeah.
It's like for me the only thing I don't like about it is that after like it sits in your stomach and you can like feel it, at least
Feel
for
the
me.
burn.
Yeah, you can feel it in your gut.
yeah. I mean, that's
which is kind of odd.
To answer your question, yes, I want a second one.
Yes, it is. It is
So good.
It is very good, and it has this. I don't know. Is it like you guys get like a coffee taste?
Yeah.
Like initially, with it.
I'm getting it now. To be honest with you,
I do get it afterwards.
I taste more chocolate up front.
You meant chocolate up front.
It's a lot more chocolate.
I can't put my finger on what initially that taste is, and it's definitely coffee or chocolate.
I taste like dark chocolate.
I
too.
taste, but like at the end, I do get like a coffee, especially if you like the aroma that sits in your mouth that kind of lingers is coffee. But the only part of the ghost pepper you really get is just the heat on the back of your throat and the heat in your belly, which is like super unique.
That's good.
It's crazy that they managed to not have the taste at all, but still carry that spice on over.
And that's my question before was, where do they put that in the fermentation? They put it at the end so you don't lose it?
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy. We should contact them and be like, hey, I want
How
to
you
know.
do that?
How you do that with the drink? We tried your drink earlier, and how do you do with the drink?
If I remember correctly, I think my friend, while he was doing the brew, it was like the last thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think it would have to be, because you can't have too much of that.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're up there on like the insane charts in the Scoville unit.
Yeah, it would take control of the whole beer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you would taste.
It would just turn your
Seemed like-
insides to
I'm not a huge
blood
fan of it
burst out of your rectum.
myself. I think like if I had to kind of give like, I don't know if I would drink it again. Is what I'm getting at. Like it's kind of cool. It's cool to try, and it doesn't taste bad. I'm not a fan of that like spicy.
That heat.
As soon as it hits you, at least for me, it's like that's all I think about at that point. Is like I'm getting the spiciness from this beer.
It is not one you chug. I will say that.
Yeah.
No,
That is
definitely
for
not.
sure.
I mean, if I had a choice between hard liquor and that, I'd still probably choose hard liquor because I always choose hard liquor.
Because you don't like beer.
So I'm not a huge beer guy. Yes, I can't say that I don't like beer anymore because
That's true.
there is
Yeah,
quite a
you've
few
found
beers
some
that I
ones.
do really enjoy, especially that Funky Buddha. Out of
Yeah,
all
that was good.
places, I want to say probably that's one of my favorite beers that we've tried is from Florida.
The German style one.
Yeah, man, it was fantastic. Of course, I love the German style. Just about any beer, if you throw German
Yeah.
style on there, and it's more than likely going to be a winner. for me.
Hefeweizens are my favorite by far.
I just don't think I could sit down and drink that ghost pepper.
Yeah.
you
I don't know. I mean, we had a small like maybe a couple shots glass worth when we first came in, and then like having it now with just like a little sip. Like I don't know how I'd handle a whole glass of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd
if
be
you'd get
really filling.
that
It would be a lot.
At most, they would probably serve that at a half pint. No more. In one setting.
Probably being 8.3.
Anything-
Is that what it is? Percent.
Yes, yes, I
Anything
believe.
that's
Style of it.
over like 7 or 8% is
8.3.
considered high alcohol volume, so they would only serve that to you, especially
would-
with Imperial Stouts.
I would like to try it, and at this point, it may just be an Imperial Stout, but like without the ghost pepper. I'd like to see what the beer tastes like, and so at that point, it may just be Imperial Stout. You know what I mean? And honestly, maybe that they have another beer right above it that just says American Imperial Stout, and so it's probably they probably made that one first, and then
The ghost
Added
pepper
the
is
ghost
pepper. Yeah.
Put ghost pepper.
I can tell you right now, it's not. I mean, even though spice takes over at the end, there's not really a whole lot of bitter taste throughout at the beginning or the middle that I could detect. So should be pretty darn smooth and super
find that
chocolatey.
one. There's one we ought to have on here. I'm looking on their website. It's called Tapered Stave Barrel Scotch Ale. Strong barrel aged beer. It says oak barrels from Heaven Hill Distillery are used, which formerly housed bourbon, rye, or wheat whiskey.
That sounds pretty.
We're gonna have to get that one.
Sounds pretty good.
Nice.
Next time we're in Columbus, that's where Bethany's mom lives. We'll have to be going up there and grab one of those.
Yeah,
Heck
definitely.
yes.
That style's really good. So is the barley wine
Is it?
type of beer. Infused.
We'll go ahead and get into our next set of stories here. The first one is from Yahoo.com, which is the first line in this headline is allegedly.
So it's a lie.
Yeah,
Again?
intoxicated woman falls asleep on railroad tracks, is run over by a train, but is left
What?
uninjured.
Dang, that's a
this
shame.
Sounds like magic at this point. On Wednesday morning, the Auburn Police Division in Alabama received several calls from concerned citizens who believed that a woman had been struck by an oncoming train. When police officers arrived, they did find a woman lying on the railroad tracks, but it didn't appear that she had been hit. Why? As WTVM News Leader 9 reports, she was fast asleep and seemingly unscathed. Okay, when it says laying on railroad tracks, when you say you're laying on railroad tracks, that means you were on the rails. Mm-hmm. Like, this is one of those things where it's like a real tiny person who laid in the middle of the tracks and didn't get run over. If that's the case, then this is stupid. That's right. 22-year-old Lindsay Horn of Salem, Alabama, the woman that police found, was sound asleep on the railroad tracks, apparently unaware that a train had passed over her, so she did not get run over by a train. Passed over there's two different.
It would be funny if she woke up and like looked up as the train
just
was
like
going
ripped her
over.
face off.
It just ripped her head clean off her shoulders.
You
That'd
can
been a better
absolutely call
story.
it a miracle. It would have been. I mean, because of the fact, luckily, the train was only 2 engines and a car. Story just gets less and less impressive. So it was just 2 engines and a car. So it was literally like 3 sections. Mm-hmm. That's it. And that's, I guess, built on her stature that she lied between the rails in a way that she was not struck by actual train or any known objects from the train. She's very fortunate and lucky. And screw you, Yahoo, for pulling me in with this sweet, sweet story of someone who got destroyed by a train but lived, but in reality just laid underneath the tracks, which happens all the time. People do that crap for fun.
Starting out, I feel like that's like the beginning of the movie Unbreakable. Like
Allegedly.
the dude sets up like, different accidents, waiting for the one person that didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Waiting for Bruce Willis to not get hurt.
But it just turns out it's allegedly intoxicated woman and not Bruce
Allegedly.
Willis. Allegedly.
But did it say she was across the tracks?
Allegedly.
No,
Across
she
the
was
rails.
laying like in between. Allegedly.
This whole thing, I should have read it. I should have read it ahead of time, but I like being like surprised, like right off the top of the head with like the craziness of the stories. But I should have seen like the first line of the first word in the headline is allegedly.
As soon as I saw
I should have known
Yahoo.
this whole story was just going to be trash. Everything about it was going to be
As soon
trash.
as I saw Yahoo, I should have
So
known.
I saw Yahoo. I should have thought maybe I shouldn't have read from here. She was arrested with charges of public intoxication. Who cares at this point? Just let her do it again and get hit by a train so we can have a story this time. The train had to be stopped. And why?
Why?
The train had passed over. Who cares?
How could you stop it? I mean,
With
what
brakes.
the point?
The
Yeah.
I imagine.
I was like, how can you stop?
I imagine like with 3 cars and 2 of them being engines, like
What
it
you do
probably
is
stopped fairly.
You sacrifice
quick.
a goat on the front, and hopefully the stop gods will stop the train.
Texas butthole tickling bandit has finally been caught.
Yes, that's
about
filthy
time.
That's
savage.
an awful shame too,
Yeah.
man. He was doing the service to the world.
This one was
Getting
right
out
below
there
the
and
methamphetamine lollipop, so I was
tickled at.
tickled
Hole.
in my butthole. I'll tell you that right now.
Him and the semen thrower were best friends. He's like, you go down low, I'll get up top. They
Hit him high, hit him low.
won't know what hit him, except for semen.
With a name like the Texas Butthole Tickling Bandit, it doesn't take any imagination to know what he does after breaking in. Fortunately,
Does he tickle buttholes?
maybe. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Fortunately, he has been apprehended by police. Identified and caught by police in the early hours of January 5th, he managed to elude capture for 3 weeks. He has given male residents in the area a real tough time with
Male
his spate
residents.
of assaults, which totaled 12 homes by the time he was stopped. Police originally thought their suspect was homeless. However, when they picked their man up, he was actually wearing $4,500 worth of Yeezus clothing.
Oh my god.
Which
Laying in
could have
bed.
just picked up off the street and wrote Yeezy or Yeezus or Yeezy on it.
So is this guy breaking into homes and tickling
That's what I'm
buttholes?
trying to figure out.
It's plain and simple.
He's just hiding in
It's
the
very-
closet waiting.
The story is very cut and
mean,
dry.
Is that
Imagine.
literally the entire story? It's just
Yes.
like man bust in. He's been tickling them buttholes.
He looks
Going
like
down
a
Texas.
stand-up citizen. Them nice lamb chops
Can
he's
you
got
imagine
going
like
on there.
turning around and just seeing that face staring at you?
Yeah. I'm gonna tickle your butt.
He's like, you need to turn back around, boy.
Just calm down.
Oh my gosh!
Gladys, get up.
Save
somebody out there think it's a tickler. Go check it out.
He's coming
Nothing
for
you
you,
can do to
honey. It's
stop
not
it.
my problem.
Nothing you can do to
Help
stop
me,
it.
Charlene.
My butthole's under attack.
Oddly enough, that could have been like a sweet Adult Swim show. TBTB, Texas Butthole Tickler Bandit, Tickling Bandit.
Superhero.
I know, it's like
TBD.
the rejected superhero list. It was actually going to be that, the Semen Slinger and Butthole Tickler.
Adventures of Butthole Tickler.
And then it's Batman and Robin now.
Yeah. What's your powers?
Adam West. Nobody messes with the Butthole Tickler. Like zooms in on the screen and back.
It's like
And it's just
Holy
him and
semen throwing back.
whenever he goes in for like his next crime, it's like one of the onomatopoeia where it's like tickle, as he does it.
Yeah.
Pam, pow, tickle.
It's tickle.
every single episode is just him in the Batcave with Robin and they never leave. It sounds like crime's afoot, Robin. Take off your pants. Tickle, tickle, cow, kerchow, tickle, tickle, pop, pop, flick, pop, pop. Anyways, jeez. Timothy.
I don't know if I can follow that story. Let's see. Man strips naked, climbs on top of car, and starts stabbing its roof in bizarre road rage incident. Now, get
This is my future because I have terrible
get a
road rage.
picture in your mind of this. A 32-year-old maniac
Oh man, I'm close.
stripped naked. His name was Jason on a busy motorway.
Was it really? No. Oh man, it's like this is the future.
Climbed on top of a vehicle and started stabbing them with a cutting tool in a bizarre road rage incident. Footage even shows the naked man jumping on top a moving flatbed truck and repeatedly stabbing the roof of the cab.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good because that's metal.
Hey.
I mean, hey,
That's
metal. Oh god, that's brutal.
shocked drivers could not believe what they were seeing when they filmed the strange turn of events on Route 28 in Fairfax County, Virginia. Scenario started as a 3-vehicle accident, which then led to a fight between 2 men. One of them being
Straddling the truck.
Jose Gonzalez Flores.
He's not even on the flat part. He's on the cab section.
on the cab.
Stabbing on top of the
Well,
cab.
if you're stabbing
Man.
the flatbed part, it'd be pointless. You see what I'm doing back here? It's what I could be doing to you.
because the rest of it totally makes sense.
You think that semen slag?
Semen slingers.
You think he's bad? Look at me. I'm naked.
He's naked stabbing.
Police say moments after ramming his pickup truck into 2 vehicles, the 32-year-old man began punching one of the other drivers. Witness.
Yeah, America.
It was a squeval just slamming his junk down on top of the truck.
I don't know, man. If I got out of my car ready to fight and I saw a squeal out there, I'd probably back into my car.
Go the other way.
Wow. Well, why are you naked anyway, getting on top of vehicles?
It's an intimidation thing.
I get it.
Plus, no, wait, he's wearing pants.
Every time I've gotten into a fight, anytime I got into a hairy situation during a fight was because somebody grabbed my shirt and or pants. So I think if I just went naked next time, I think it's my next thing. This is next time I throw down, I'm just taking off pants, taking a dump.
Well, you're at the right line of thinking here, but that's what he did. He said that one of the guys says he climbs over the barrier, gets undressed, and comes back into the truck buck naked. It was very frightening for everyone involved. He started punching his window, and here's a picture of naked. He's standing like a superhero.
That's what was that?
Get some of this.
Charles Bronson.
Oh my.
That oh crap! It was that movie Tom Hardy played in where he was that English gangster.
Yeah, Bronson.
That Bronson. It was based off of like a real person. That's
Yeah,
what he would
Charles.
do. When he would
Get
fight, he was a brutal
completely
dude.
naked.
He would get butt naked. Just
Like, come
fight
and
him
fight
butt
me.
naked.
There's one where he like painted himself.
Do you want to see
Black.
a grown man naked?
You ever been to a
Would you
Turkish
like
prison?
to?
So anyway, to complete the story, the cops got the dogs and the chopper out, and the helicopter, I shouldn't say chopper.
Someone get the. We got to take to the skies. He's
Get to the
naked.
chopper. So they caught him and picked him up. They said evidently he's probably been on the influence of drugs or alcohol or something. So
Jeez.
Guaranteed.
I'm just hoping one day
Allegedly.
allegedly. I'm hoping for
Allegedly.
one of these stories eventually where it was like the guy was completely sane. He was just ready to throw down. So he took off his pants and dropped the deuce, started fighting. Like, that's what I want to see.
Man allegedly punches himself in the face to avoid a breathalyzer. Belfast, Maine. Belfast police say they have arrested a man who allegedly punched himself in the face to avoid a breathalyzer test. Police say they found the car of 27-year-old Brian Fogg in a ditch early Saturday morning on Waterville Road. When they tried to administer a breathalyzer test, Fogg allegedly punched himself in the face 3 times, causing himself to bleed. Police tended to his injuries instead of giving him the test. Fogg is charged with a DUI, falsifying physical evidence, and criminal mischief. He has since been released on bail.
I love it because it's like if you punch yourself in the face to get out of a breathalyzer, it's kind of like a positive reading on a breathalyzer anyways.
either way,
If you're willing to punch yourself in the
the
face.
first time, and he's like, "No,
Yep,
we don't
he's
need
drunk.
this. We don't need this."
Yeah, he's clearly allegedly.
Allegedly.
let's get it right.
Drunk.
So jeez, he looks like a winner too.
Yeah.
His teeth look black, and I'm sure it's just because of the blood, because he punched himself in the face. Guys, if you're gonna punch yourself in the face, just punch yourself in the eye or something.
His eyes are 2 different colors, too. Unless his eye was one of the things he hit or something, but it doesn't look...
Oh nope, he has the blue eye, brown eye thing. Good to see that trait was wasted on a winner.
And he was redheaded, too, so what are the odds of a blue-eyed, brown-eyed, redheaded...
Wow.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's the
All the
equivalent of-
rarities just struck to him, but like common sense and smarts just left.
Yeah, he's
Like you'll make it
Gone.
along well in life just on these traits.
Yeah,
we
but-
don't need to give you smarts.
Right.
he looks
Allegedly.
like one cool kitty. Allegedly,
Seems
jeez.
like one cool cat. Yeah.
one cool cat. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our next beer here, and this one is actually a little bit special. And Jared, tell us why that this is special.
This one is Fall City beer, so it's a local one here in Louisville, Kentucky. And the reason that we have this one today is because it is, by the time this podcast comes out, it will be on the 25th of January. So Beer Can Appreciation Day is January 24th, and we thought that we would share in the celebration. Beer Can Appreciation Day recognizes the great day in 1935 when beer was first sold in cans. Credit for the first beverage can goes to the Kruger Brewing Company of Richmond, Virginia, made of steel and weighing in at almost 4 ounces. These hefty canisters open with a church key.
With a church key?
With a church key.
You know those, like they look like they're basically like can openers, but they just have like the needle nose point, and you just poke the hole in
Oh, okay.
into the top of the
gotcha.
can.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called that.
I call it a can opener.
Yeah. The more you know.
Kruger's took the risk with American Can Company just weeks before the repeal of Prohibition.
Before the repeal of Prohibition?
Just weeks before Prohibition was put into effect. They favored the can over the bottle 9-1. So this started in 1935. In 1963, they had the pull tab instead from Pittsburgh Brewing Company, and revolutionizes the beer can when it introduces Iron City beer in self-opening cans with pull tabs, also known as pop tops. With their sharp edges, the pull tabs became the feared litter at beaches, parks, backyards, and anywhere beverages were consumed. Now, the important part here is in 1975, the Stay Tab, Fall City Brewing Company of Louisville, Kentucky, introduces the Stay Tab, removing the pull tab's environmental impact. So it's a little bit special for us around the area since we
Heritage.
started the Stay Tab in beer. So
Yep, which we all tear off and throw on the ground anyway. So
the thought, it's the thought,
it's the
Jason.
thought that matters. Yes.
This day provides people with the opportunity to enjoy and appreciate the many different kinds of beer cans around the world. Collectors seek rare, novel, and unique varieties. A collector may have hundreds of beer cans in many different sizes, types, and ages. So, and I know for a fact I checked on the website for Fall City. Brewing. They are, as of October 2017, they have switched from bottles to just cans only for the environment.
I heard that
So-
the idea that the bottle is better is kind of a misconception. Was it me and you that were watching something on that the other day? Whereas, like, people think it tastes better, but like in reality, the can almost is a little bit better just because it doesn't get light into it, right?
Yeah,
where a beer bottle allows like sunlight and things like that to
sunlight
get into the beer. Yeah,
can ruin the beer eventually. I mean, it takes a long time, but the cans hold all that in, and there's no way the light can get through it, so it can stay fresh longer. So, but there's people that always said, "Oh, it tastes better from the bottle." It's like, no, it doesn't.
If anything, it might just be like the feel. You know what I mean?
It
When
is.
you're
It's the
drinking
feel,
it.
but you should probably put it in
But,
glass anyway.
Yeah,
So
it is what it
You
be.
know what I have to say about that?
There's a Diet Coke he was opening.
It's a LaCroix. I don't drink Diet Cokes.
All right, Kentucky Common. It is a 4% alcohol on this one. Only 3 styles of beer originated in the United States. Luckily for us, the Kentucky Common is one. Developed in the 1850s in our hometown of Louisville, this smooth brew is crafted with corn, barley, and rye, similar to a bourbon distiller's mash bill.
y'all synchronizing.
We're the same now. I'm going to try it.
I'm an owl exterminator.
Now this would be more your typical domestic beers. So it won't be probably.
I almost died just you jerk.
So this would be more domestic style. Probably not our favorite, but it's still,
Yeah, it's not bad.
where it comes from. I mean, this is what started it all in
Looks like
the
water.
United States. So
It kind of tastes like water. You can taste the corn. That's for sure.
yep. It's not technically a light beer, but it.
I guess one of those things we got to kind of remember the fact that it's how old it is.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's beer.
started long time ago.
It's not bad. It's similar to what my dad used to drink. He used to let me have a couple of hits off his beer.
And then you punch me in the face.
Then he chained me up at the bed.
Oh, jeez.
This will make it hurt a little worse. Take a couple drinks of this.
Now go grab a stick. Any stick.
Beat yourself with it.
I'll let you pick your own switch. Anyways, thank you all for listening to another episode of Laughs and Drafts. We really appreciate your all support. As always, you can find us on iTunes. Please go like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a rating. It helps us a ton in the long run. Also, the first 100 people to leave a rating or comment get a free sticker from us. We've already shot out a few of those to you that have left some reviews. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you, guys.
And please check out us on Facebook at Laughs and Drafts.
Check us out on Twitter at Laughs Drafts.
If you would like to donate to the podcast, you can do that at patreon.com/laughsanddrafts.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There.
You may go there and it's just 404 not found.
404 not found.